So he walks out to the stage, stands in front of the stage and looks at up on the balcony, down all across the floor where I am, and just looks at this 3,000 person group of people. Takes a breath, and then he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out his wallet. And he opens up his wallet and he pulls out what to me was a very large, I've replicated that today, a very large pile of money. And then he spreads the money out, and there were lots of hundreds, a 50. I've added some 20s to this. It was mostly hundreds and 50s that he had. He spreads that out and he holds it up for the entire 3,000 people to see. And then he says, this is money. This is money. I love money. I love money. I just love money. And while he's saying that, I'm sitting in the audience thinking, I can't believe this guy. I drove all this way to hear him give spiritual teaching, to give this great lecture. I mean, I find this disgusting. I just felt repulsed. And then the thought, this guy isn't even spiritual, came across my mind. And this all happened rather quickly. And then as he's putting his money back in his pocket, he says, don't raise your hand, but let me ask you a few questions about what you were thinking while you saw me do what I just did. And he said, so did you have any feeling of repulsion or disgust or feeling critical towards me because I did what I did? You might even have had the thought, this guy's not even spiritual. And when he said that, I was like he reached right inside of me and knew what I was thinking. He looked around the room and he said, so if you had any of that, let me tell you something. Money heard you. Why would money want to come where it's not loved, where it's not welcomed, where it's actually pushed away and rejected? He said, let me make another suggestion to you. If I had done something differently than what I just did, if instead of taking money out of my wallet, opening it up and saying, hey, I love money, it's a symbol for freedom for me, I love money, and you have rejection, and you have response, you have, a feeling of disgust perhaps, that maybe I'm not even spiritual. But if I'd done something differently, what if I'd done this? I walk out, I've got a little darling little boy, like a 4 or 5-year-old little boy. He comes out with me, you see his hand in my hand. I look around the audience, look at all of you, and then I pick up this little boy from behind, and I hold him up so you can see his face. And I hold him up for all of you to see. Bring him in close to me and say, this is my grandson. This is my grandson. I just love my grandson. And I set the boy down. I can tell you that not one of you would be feeling disgusted, have repulsion, or think that I'm not spiritual. Because you have a mindset. You've been trained to think that it's okay to love a grandchild, but it's not okay to love money, the symbol of the freedom that spirit in you wants for you. In spirit, there's infinity. In spirit, there's abundance. In spirit, there's this longing to express that abundance and freedom that rises up in the center of every one of us. That longing, he said, is spiritual. What you do with it will depend on how spiritual you become. And I realized in that moment that the struggle I was having with money must have something to do with some kind of thinking or some kind of stories or some kind of way of relating to money that I had that I didn't even know I had. Everybody has a money story. If you've been struggling to take your life to the next level of money or wealth or abundance, the first place to shift, and not so easy to find on your own, is in your mind. Which is why I want to share with you today an amazing gift. Free registration to my powerful Abundance Masterclass. During this hour-long masterclass, I'll reveal 3 of the most sabotaging subconscious blocks I've come across in my nearly 50 years of studying, training, and teaching in the areas of abundance, transformation, and success. And I'll also share my proven methods and some powerful tools for breaking free from these abundance limiting patterns, changing your mindset, and rewiring your brain for easy abundance and lasting success. So click below, learn more details, reserve your spot today. It's free. You're going to be so glad you did.